Our athletes want to be treated as real athletes. They want to master skills, they want to perform those skills, they want to be recognized for having done well in those skills, and they want to compete in those skills, which means they want to test themselves. They want to test themselves against other people, they want to test themselves in front of an audience, and they want to determine whether they've done as well as they might. So we're asking all of our athletes, the most important competition is against yourself. But competing against yourself, competing in and of itself is a commitment. It's a commitment to excellence. It's a high standard. It's not just show up, run around the track, smile, and get a medal. It's train, it's learn, it's eat well, it's practice, show up, give everything you've got, leave it all on the court, and then, if you do that, if you've done your absolute best, this world, the world of Special Olympics, will recognize you as someone who is great, regardless of the specific place you finish. It's a different message than sometimes I think people have heard of Special Olympics. I think many times people have thought of Special Olympics as an opportunity to celebrate the smiles, the spirit, the joy. It is that. But what they have not realized is how important it is for our athletes to have the smile and the spirit and the joy be emerging from a context of commitment and determination and skill and athleticism. Well, the unity sports also helps us to show that sports is a vehicle for building relationships, sports is a vehicle for building understanding without words. Sports is mostly a nonverbal form of communication. And we're learning in other disciplines how important nonverbal communication is. The brain scientists are showing and telling us about it. Early childhood specialists are telling us about it. Educators are starting to understand it's not just what you put on the board or what you put in the book, but how you learn, how much you experience the lesson. So here we are in this massive experiential relationship builder. We don't, in Special Olympics, get up and say, when you meet someone, say hello. When you having a conflict in your relationship, go to talk about it this way. No, we say when you meet someone, kick the ball. When you're trying to break the ice in a relationship, play table tennis, shoot forehands. So the unifying message of our movement now, I think, is becoming quite clear. It's becoming more and more important in the world that we address the issue of intolerance and misunderstanding. It's becoming more and more clear that Special Olympics athletes are themselves teachers of understanding, but they teach with a football or a tennis ball or a volleyball. Long way to go on ending the misunderstanding, the terrible, terrible fear and misunderstanding of discrimination against people who are different. We still live in a world that celebrates the, so to speak, normal and humiliates the special. We have to get to a world that recognizes that there are a million abilities, that every single person has abilities, and there are millions and millions of ways of counting them and measuring them and celebrating them. Instead of a world that says there's one form of ability and anyone who doesn't have it is a loser. We have a lot of work to do to build the world of a million abilities, to build the dignity revolution. But we're kind of relentless in this movement, and I don't see any evidence that there's anybody in Special Olympics who is willing to pause or stop or be discouraged. No matter how horrible the news can be sometimes. I get it all the time. I get it from all over the world. I hear about the institutions. I get the photographs of the mistreatment. I read the reports from international agencies about the abuse, about the humiliation. I talk to mothers and fathers. I talk to self-advocates all the time. To Dion from Namibia, to Ben Hack from Australia, just 2 days ago, talking about the way he was treated. But when he talks about the way he was treated, he stands, his shoulders are back, his head is high, and he's determined. He says, there are 2 planets. I live now on the planet where I have a chance and where I belong, and he is not going to rest until he tries to bring as many human beings as possible to the new planet of unity and acceptance. Well, I think, the nothing about us without us makes a powerful statement that a person with an intellectual disability, in our case, a person with an intellectual difference, has gifts to bring to every conversation, to every discussion, to every goal setting, if you will. We have in Special Olympics a kind of sense in which the broad diversity of human experience means that there's always someone, some gift that belongs in every venue. But we believe very much in the diversity of gifts, that we need cultural diversity, that we need religious diversity, that we need geographic diversity. We need a range of disabilities. We need people with Down syndrome, we need people with autism, we need people with Williams, we need people with Prader-Willi. I mean, even within our community of people with intellectual disability, there are guesses from scientists that say there are 2,000 or 3,000 forms of intellectual difference or conditions that prompt intellectual difference. Companies famously point to curves, and they say our growth is like this, but we want to create a tipping point. I think we took our curve and shouldered it up, and I think it's heading on an extraordinary trajectory. I'm only sometimes I think to myself, I'm just a little disappointed that my lifespan won't allow me to see when it gets way up high what will happen, because I'm just excited that the world will have the impact of a movement at that scale. I liken the Special Olympics in a way to a religion, not because we have the specific forms of belief, maybe like a religion, but because religions tend to be successful because they constantly call people to convert, if you will. They constantly call people to change. You don't join a religion and then you're done. You join a religion in order to grow, in order to develop, in order to deepen every day, theoretically. Good religions invite you to prayer, or meditation, or contemplation, or the practice of one's faith.